All right, we're back again, everybody. Today we're gonna be talking about it's like two components. Two. I got two messages. One is for those of you when you see narcissists starting arguments out of nowhere, out of the clear blue, is a reason and a purpose for that. We're gonna get into that, and then the other one is about going to people who are in the spiritual community that do magic, root work, all of that type of stuff. We're gonna talk about that. So, one of the things many of you may have came into the awareness or knowing of is when a narcissist starts an argument out of nowhere with you. Many a times, this is to create a decoy, to create an aversion to where they can get away from you to go and explore other options, fool around with a new supply or a secondary supply, right? Because they do have secondary supplies, and this is how narcissists keep secondary supplies going, entertaining them while being with you. So a lot of times these arguments may start, around like 9:30ish, 9:37, quarter to 10. And typically, it just so happens they're on the weekends a lot of time. And the narcissist is able to find a way to get away from you and go entertain this new supply. But how do they do it? Well, over a period, narcissists have been doing this with other people for years. So with you in the beginning, when they get into an argument, it'll get blown out of proportion. They'll leave, they'll come back, in a different mood, in a better mood, you know, trying to make up and stuff like that. They'll do this for several times, and then it's to get you into believing that false pattern that when they do come back, they're a lot better. So it's designed so that you won't mind if they blow up and go away, because when they come back, they're in a better mood. Nobody wants to deal with a narcissist in that toxic, upset mood that they bring when you're having these senseless arguments for no rhyme or reason. So because you've gotten used to that pattern and you're not thinking that the narcissist is doing nothing more than cooling off. They say they're going to a bar, have a drink, or they're going by their friend's house to cool out, to get away from you. In the beginning, that's where they were. You call them, they're there. See, they have to set the stage for the dirty work that they do later. You call them, they're over there with their friend. You may even drive by, they're there with their friend or whatnot. So they get you comfortable knowing that this is just what they do, but they're creating a false perception of their actions. They're leading you into the mindset that they're going to be doing one thing, but in fact, later it ends up being another. It ends up being an open door, a window of opportunity for them to go fool around with another source of supply. And they're going out there and, taking back shots, at 11 something a.m., 11 p.m. at least, taking back shots, coming back to you, talking about they cooled off. Yeah, they got that fire put out, but it wasn't from the fire department. And ladies, if you got, a guy you were with and they, were going somewhere and that time of the night telling you they're going cool off, they was dipping. It was sitting up there playing yoga after dark. Yeah, they was doing yoga after dark. And that's how they entertain the secondary supply and to keep you off bases and off guard. Because you got to understand, narcissists like that type of action anyway. They thrive in that action to where they're able to have their cake and eat it too. They have you but they also have this other supply and they can dip back and forth. They like that. They like that setup. They like that type of situation that gives them a variety of options. Plus, it's the whole thrill for them. Remember, narcissists are thrill seekers. They like to, hey, I'm doing something I shouldn't be, and I haven't got caught yet. It's fun, right? It keeps it fun. It keeps them entertained. And so when these arguments are starting, and like I said, a lot of times they come out of nowhere. It's for no reason. The argument makes no sense, but they blow up. It's to get away. It's to get away. They've already groomed you and got you familiar with the routine that they've done before, and nothing was going on. So you're not as liable to think anything is going to go on later. You're gullible. You're being gullible. Your gullibility is still putting you in a place to where they can run that game. And that's just what it is. And people, real quick side note, people like to talk about victim shaming. This is not victim shaming when I speak about this, at least from my platform. It's victim awareness, right? The victim has to be aware of the game that's ran so that they can identify themselves as being open to that type of game and how to correct it. Has nothing to do with shaming, right? Nothing to do with shaming. It's about bringing awareness. But yeah, off of your gullibility, they're gonna use that against you. Off of your trust and wanting to believe in them, they're gonna use that against you. And so these arguments that come about are done in that way. While we're at it, make sure you take the time to hit the like button. 1 second to just hit that thumbs up. So yeah, narcissists do this, and it's an easy way to entertain different sources of supply. And it doesn't necessarily have to be at night. It can be during the day. It can be whatever time, but they're always, they have those secret apps and stuff in their phones and all of this stuff. So that, with technology, it's made it so easy for people who want to be cheaters or disingenuous within relationships and so forth. It's made it easy for people to be of that nature nowadays. The hidden apps, they can store pictures and all types of videos, files, text messages in these hidden apps, and you would be none the wiser of what they're doing. And narcissists love that because they can still utilize technology to give them a certain amount of concealment so they don't get caught. But I'm just putting y'all onto the game. Second half of this is what I wanted to speak about, and this came from a client, about going to these spiritual communities. And no, I'm not judging or, speaking on anybody's belief or system that they want to use, but I found that a lot of these groups, spiritual groups, are loaded with narcissists. That even involves some Christian groups too. But the spiritual community, client goes there and get what they call it, root work, witchcraft work done for a situation they wanted. And within these groups, I have to say, the ethical proportion of a lot of these individuals is absent. And in fact, within these groups where they, feel as though they don't have to answer to anything but themselves, because a lot of them feel that they are gods and goddesses, right? So they're the alpha and the omega. They're the beginning and the end. And when a lot of times you go to these people, based on what principles and purposes the foundation they're built on, they will make your condition worse. Why? For one, it's a business for them. So you go there, get something done. It works for a little bit, and then it's all hell breaks loose, and now all kind of bad stuff is going on in your life, even worse than it did or than it was, because that person that you went to, you gave your name, age, all of this stuff to, started causing problems, controlled chaos, issues for you to have to come back and look towards them for more assistance, for more help. So now everything's in disarray. Whoever's doing something to you find out that you broke, and then they got to working on you even more. So you got to come back to me, and I can do another thing. You're going to need it. You better do it because it's going to get worse. So now they have the person in fear. The person keeps going back, and they're trying to get stuff done to stop the onslaught of all these problems and conditions that they're having. Little do they know, it's not from someone else. They're just using that against the person. It's now the person who they're going to creating these issues in their lives so that they can keep a consistent client base going. And this is what people have to be aware of. Narcissists are all within these type of communities, groups, and so forth. And that greed is going to take precedence, is going to be at the forefront, to where if you're paying that much, you'll pay another amount. They got track. They know your pay dates. They know what you can afford, what you can't. They're putting you on payment plans. And now you're indebted to this person who you thought was going to help fix you or the situation that was going on. But now they're exploiting you for your money, sending negative energy, bad stuff your way so that you can keep returning to them for services. Again, a lot of these groups, the ethical portion of a lot of these spiritual sectors and groups can be highly in question. And if you're putting that much trust into these types of individuals, hey, it can happen in a lot of different situations. I remember when I had a toothache. I thought it was like a cavity or something. And I went to one dentist inside my network, and immediately he went to, it's probably you're going to need a root canal and so forth, and it's probably a bad cavity or something like that. I've had a root canal before, and those things, painful. One of the worst pains I've experienced in my life. Very painful. The whatever deadening they used was not working. And so I was definitely not going. I wanted a second opinion immediately. So I went outside the network, talked to a dentist, had an appointment, looked at it, did everything. He said, it's just a tooth infection. Gave me some antibiotics. Pain went away. Nothing. I was good. Where the one, not saying that but if you're a dentist, you should know this. If you're doing your work with due process, should have seen the same thing. But if he can make more out of it, get more money, then so be it. This is where the ethical question comes into mind when you're dealing with certain people, right? So in these groups, in these sectors, in these groups and stuff and so forth, to put your trust, that much trust in someone manipulating energy, manipulating things that can go on in your life through energy and so forth, sending malevolent spirits and evil spirits and all this stuff to you and around you, can cause a lot of issues. And if you're not aware and you're just putting trust in people that, they're going to do exactly what I said, they're not going to, try to do this to me, because they speak a good game about, karma and all of this stuff. But do they really practice within that frame of operation and believing in it? you're putting a lot of faith in something that could really damage your life, your health, and so forth and so on. So, yeah, have to be cautious, have to be careful. Keep your heads on the swivel. Don't just fall into anything easily. And, yeah, make sure you're understanding what you're getting yourself into. As I told the client that was in that situation. I mean, I recognized the game of what was going on immediately. But I was glad to be able to share that with him and with you all. And so, yeah, that's about it. Make sure you hit the like button, share, subscribe. If you want to get a hold of me, the links are below. And until next time, everybody have a good one. Enjoy yourself.